One of the top referees on the circuit, the gentleman, Dan Mulvaheady, about to get this one underway. 3 5-minute rounds, should they need them, at a catch weight of 140 pounds. Edward Walls in the red, Aidan Stephen in the grey and black. Those guys trading leg kicks to start this one off, and head kicks now as well. Stephen's corner asking him to work behind the jab. Doesn't want to get caught up in a wild exchange here.
Catch of the kick there, straight into almost into a full guard position. That one butterfly hook on the inside, yeah, expect to see Aidan try and pull that leg out into a closed guard position. You know, this is a position where a lot of grapplers or a lot of MMA fighters may struggle to actually throw up attacks from the back, but this is a position where I can guarantee you Aidan Stephen's going to be very, very comfortable. What you really should be looking out for is whenever he has an overhook on one side, looking to control the wrist with the other hand. You know, one of the main submissions that you have, especially when you're in the middle of the cage, is to throw up that triangle, and then you can transition that triangle into an armbar. You tend to see a lot more arm bars when you've got the fence or the cage wall to one side of you that you can use to actually push off of and cut the angle. It's a really unique grappling technique that you can only do when you're not doing pure grappling, when you're doing MMA or if you're doing grappling in a cage. But yeah, so you can see that overhook on the left-hand side there. Switching now possibly for a sweep, but looks like he's going to try and invert and attack a leg here. You see that right leg drop down, that knee line is going to drop below his opponent's hips, and he's going to throw that other leg over the top probably to attack a leg. Decides that he doesn't want to go for it, and he's going to try instead to go to a deep half guard position. Beautiful sit-up sweep there, fantastic sweep. Usually you see from an X-guard there, but he just was doing it from a deep half, and Wall's just doing a great job of scrambling back into this position, and Aidan unfortunately unable to solidify that sweep. But it was a beautiful attempt, and I think it's, you know, that X-guard position, he wasn't quite in an X-guard. In an X-guard you can really stretch your opponent out and stop them from being able to do what Edward did there, which was, you know, use those legs to try and escape and base and balance. But body lock position now, dragging his opponent to the ground.
Yeah, regardless, it has put Aidan Stephen back in a advantageous position here. One thing we do know about Stephen is that he does love to take the back. 6 wins by rear naked choke across his pro and amateur career.
I'll tell you one thing, if you're good at grappling and you do MMA, you like taking the back. It's just the strongest position, and it's the position where, you know, we're having a look possibly at a triangle attempt here. You see that free leg on the left-hand side and then controlling the wrist on the right-hand side. I can tell you right now that's what he's thinking. He's thinking triangle, but so compressed and closed up to the fence there, he was unable to really get the space needed. He's still thinking about it, though. You can see that post, that long post with the right arm. And whenever you have someone in closed guard, when they have that overhook, so you can see on that on the right-hand side of Walls, he's got his right arm overhooked. You're always going to be expecting a triangle attack from there. Some up kicks now. You might see Aidan. We've already seen that he's open to perhaps inverting and attacking a leg lock.
Edward Walls has only been finished twice. One of those was by triangle, the other by heel hook. So perhaps that's something that Aidan Stephen's been having a look at during the tape study phase of his camp, but Walls preferring to step back and restart this one on the feet.
Yeah, Walls so far just doing a great job of defensively grappling really, really nicely here, not really getting sucked into Aidan's game. Some nice shots landed from Aidan though.
Yeah, nice left hand there from Aidan Stephen. Looking a little bit better every time we see him in the Cage Warriors cage.
Nice level change there. He's got those hands connected behind the legs, and beautiful takedown. So this is the first time we're going to see him, depending on how Edward defends this takedown, whether he tries to get his back up and walk back up that fence. The first time we've seen Aidan in the top position, immediately transitioning to the back here. He's going to look to get that one hook in, then expect to see him try and get the other hook in. I can't quite see what he's got with the upper body. He wants to try and get an over-under position here. Now he's got that over-under. This is a great position, 35 seconds left. It could be enough, but it might not be. The arm's underneath the neck, and he's looking to go palm to palm here. It's a nice position, but what Walls is doing very, very nicely is he's controlling the anchoring arm, and what that does is it stops you from being able to anchor that arm behind the head, and therefore you can't actually generate any force. So it's a classic way of defending the rear naked choke. Very often you expect to grab the attacking arm, but actually grabbing the attacking arm isn't always best. Only a couple of seconds here. You see how that was locked in, and by removing that arm there, it takes away your ability to pull in, because as you try and generate force, there's no anchor with the choking arm.
Well, dramatic moments there at the end of the first round between Aidan Stephen and Edward Walls, and as we expected, Dan, a real grappling heavy contest in that first frame. Aidan Stephen's nose looks to be busted up a little bit in the corner. Doesn't look to be broken, just a little bit of blood there being dealt with. But let's take a look at some of the action from that first round. Nice body kick and a leg kick early on from Aidan Stephen, but it was caught and he was tripped to the mat by Edward Walls.
Yeah, there was a beautiful sweep attempt here. He almost got it. I really feel like this technical stand-up sweep is something that could be used way more in MMA if you can get underneath the legs. But you don't see people getting under the legs very often in MMA. You know, Edward Walls doing a great job of scrambling back to his feet and staying up from there. And then, of course, we saw that back take at the end of the round. And, you know, really, you got to say the buzzer kind of saved Walls there, because I didn't see any way that he was getting out of that, not anytime soon.
Yeah, a couple of nice kicks landed from Walls there at the end of that replay. Just fell a little bit short, just caught him with toes across the teeth with that high kick, and then teeped into the body as well. Nice right hand there by Walls. Walls really headhunting in this second round, but he's got to be careful because Aidan's looking pretty sharp on the feet himself in this one, looking for a Kimura here.
Yeah, far side Kimura, not really a super strong position here. You want to see a lot more depth at that far side arm. You see how loose it is. You can see so much of Aidan's arm here, and also the position isn't on. Arm's starting to get deeper now, but you see how far over the body Walls is. It's going to be really difficult for Aidan to pull that arm away from his opponent's body. Walls can feel that he's in a Kimura position, so he's going to try and stay very, very heavy on that side. However, if Aidan can create some space, and this is one of the... There we go. He tries to create some space, and Walls does a good job of passing, but now he's moved his weight off of that arm. So he's trying to... There we go. Now he has that Kimura, and he's... Unfortunately, Walls was able to pass into the mount position, and once you get to the mount position, you take away your ability to actually finish. Now we're going to see Edward Walls, it looks like, at least attempting to try and take the back of Aidan Stevens, exchange the favor from the end of the first round. Right now, the angle's off, so you don't want to be trying to solidify the position just yet. You want to try and change the angle. You need to be parallel to your opponent's hips. So this is nice now. Now he can circle around to the back. He's got one hook, and he doesn't want to fall off the side, though, because when you fall off the side, you lose the ability to connect the hook on the far side. So a nice, real, very, very close attempt at a back take there. Still in a good position to get it, but he's got to be very careful. Once his first hook comes in, now he wants to be throwing his weight to the far side. Unless he's trying to drag you backwards. If he's trying to drag you backwards, well, then you've got to be hooking the near side leg through the far side leg like this, exactly, and now he can pull back. Only problem, the fence is there. So he wasn't able to really get any power going backwards. Immediately now, Aidan Stephen jumping onto the back, and it looks like he might have trapped one of the arms. I can't quite see. No, Edward Wall's been able to pull that arm out there. For a second, it looked like he trapped this arm. So Aidan probably going to look to switch to a body triangle if he has the opportunity. But that choke looks like it is in, and there's the attempted switch to the body triangle. That is locked in. He's trying to strip that grip again, but that hand is in close, and I think he's going to have the tap here. This is super strong.
Oh, super strong. This is a bad spot for Edward Walls. Oh, but he pops out. And looks for the reversal himself. Incredible stuff.
That was all to do with the angle.
Oh, Walls doing damage here. Big ground and pound. This is how Tobias Harilla stopped Aidan Stephen.
Yeah, Aidan's got to look to get underneath. He really, really likes to get deep underneath and go for deep half sweeps for leg entanglements and stuff like that. Stuff that you don't usually see in MMA, but you know that rear naked choke was so close. He had the position on, but then he lost the angle. He wasn't directly behind his opponent. Edward Wall started to slip out to the side, and that meant that the choke didn't come on, and Aidan had to let go of it. So he's found himself inside a closed guard again. It's going to be interesting to see. You know, I think right now, Walls has to start thinking about opening the guard, passing the guard, getting to a top position. He's really been on the defensive. You know, he had a couple of sniffs at a back take earlier on in this round, but for the most part in this fight so far, he's very much been on the defensive, doing everything correctly pretty much to counter the grappling of Aidan Stevens, but not able to get much of his game off. Again, we're seeing a triangle setup, possibly nice posture, which is exactly what you should be doing to stop that triangle, really high posture position. Another Kimura attempt on the far side. Hip bump sweep here, and what that hip bump sweep can do is open up the Kimura or the triangle, but again, he has to be careful about how he's defending this ground and pound. Like you said, he's been stopped with vicious ground and pound before, trying to get underneath the legs. We're seeing a variation of a X-guard into the X-guard. I want to see this X-guard. Almost there, he's going for another technical stand-up sweep. Looking to take the back for a second there. Walls turns in really, really nice. The flexibility, mobility, and movement of Edward Walls is really exactly what he needs to do in so many of these very close positions.
Walls maintaining this top position now. 30 seconds left on the clock. The sole submission on his record is by rear naked choke, so don't be too surprised if we do try and see him get to the back again at some point. But he has been much more comfortable finishing fights with his fists, and he's got a couple of wins by head kick. Oh, heavy ground and pound again. And he's certainly packing some heat in those fists. Yeah,
that was kind of the first big mistake that I've actually seen Aidan do this fight. He opened the guard and rolled backwards there and just gave up a really bad position and ate a few shots for his troubles. But apart from that, his grappling has been very, very tight, very strong. You know, the defensive grappling of Edward Walls has been great. You've got to think going into this third round now, Walls is going to need a finish. I think Aidan needs to be very careful off of his back, eating too much ground and pound.
Yeah, Walls did land some nice shots in that second round as well, though. So, you know, he did put some damage points on the board, but can talk us through how close this one might have been.
So look at the angle of Walls' body pointing directly up versus the angle of Stephen's body pointing to the side. You need to be, your chest needs to face the exact same direction as your opponent's chest in order to put the pulling force directly backwards into the neck. And yet here we're seeing Aidan, he's great off of his back, but he's got to be careful about taking so many strikes. It's because he plays quite a loose position. He doesn't try and pull you in, he doesn't try to shut you down. It opens up a lot of transitions and attacks, but it can also mean that you eat a lot of shots.
And this could well be anyone's game going into the third and final round. Neither man will be able to rest on any laurels here.
Yeah, I guess, you know, when I'm talking about perhaps Aidan being up 2 rounds, I'm not actually considering the ground and pound damage done by Walls, so you're absolutely right. There's a good chance that that second round, he definitely had a lot of shots. I just think that close rear naked choker attack would probably, in my opinion, be enough to steal that round for Stevens.
Well, one thing was pretty clear. Aidan Stephen wanted this on the ground as soon as possible at the start of the third round, shot in straight away. Walls doing everything he can to get back to his feet here. Yeah, perhaps he thinks now's the time to start hunting for those head kicks again. Oh, he comes out on top in that scramble, and this is a bad spot for Aidan Stephen.
Yeah, Aidan just really allowing that mount take. They're able to get that reversal. You know, I think third round here, this has been a really high-paced grappling fight so far, and I think you can see it on both of these guys' movements. Are a little bit labored, a little bit, I don't want to say lazy, but very fatigued. Another back take attempt here. You know, multiple times we've seen this back take straight into the body triangle. You know, Aidan was able to get his arm under the neck last time. In this body triangle position, it's going to be much easier to stay directly behind your opponent. If he can lock off that rear naked choke from the last round in this position here, then that's almost a guaranteed finish.
Couple of strikes underneath, try and soften Edward Walls up. Walls looking to maybe shake his man off the top here, but that's going to be very difficult with the body triangle.
Yeah, exactly right, exactly right. When you've just got 2 hooks in, you slip off very, very easy. When you've got a body triangle and you are just attached to the person, you know, in between their hip bone and their rib cage, and you're crushing, you're taking the wind out of them the entire time. So standing up can be a risk. If you're trying to shake the person off the top, much smarter. A lot of people instinctively stand upright, which is one of the worst things you can do, because then it's very, very easy for the opponent to get the arm around the neck. And here we go, Aidan Stevens looking to get that arm around again. He's on an inside body triangle position. He's not got as much internal force there, so he's lost that, you know, most of the power. But this is really, really nice. Walls trying to turn in, switch into a triangle for a second, and just a little bit loose on those legs, and Walls able to perfectly react to that quick triangle setup. to get into a turtle position here, to scramble into a turtle position. Guillotine, guillotine, sniff of a guillotine. He's kind of on the wrong side to do it. Aidan's just going to pass round to his right-hand side, or even directly, possibly even directly into mount from here.
Walls lets the neck go, and as you say, McBain instantly, Aidan Stephen rather, instantly stepping through and taking that back. He's got that single hook in again.
Yeah, this is a much better position to be trying to shake your opponent off from. I wouldn't be surprised to see Aidan, if he does start to slip off, you can catch a submission on the way down. So you can grab an arm bar, or even you can pull one leg out and then grab a triangle even. So, 2 minutes left here. This is something that if Aidan thinks he's going to slip off, he's going to slip off and he's going to try and switch to something before he gives up the position. Well, that's what he wants to be doing anyway.
With just over 90 seconds, what does Edward Walls want to do here? Does he want to try and do damage on the ground, or does he want to create separation and step away? He looks like he's trying to fish him for the neck maybe again.
Yeah, I think he does want to do damage on the ground. I think that's one of Aidan's weaknesses, is absorbing strikes a little bit loose off of his back there, and I think there's a good chance, I don't know who's winning this fight right now, but I think there's a good chance that he needs a stoppage.
McBain trying to, called him McBain about 3 times, I do apologise. Aidan Stephen gets the takedown and slips straight round to the back there.
Yeah, we're just seeing, both of these guys are really good grapplers, and they're just very different right now in the end of this third and final round compared to how they were in the first round. It's just a little bit sloppier, but what can you expect? These guys have been absolutely going at it for almost 15 minutes now. Aidan finds himself on the back once again. He's done this so many times very successfully. Again, you see that angle change. He's not quite on the back, and he's got to be careful. 30 seconds left. Those are big hammer strikes and punches. He's got to be careful here.
Yeah, Edward Walls has got some heavy lunge boxes for fists, looking to do some damage here to Aidan Stephen. Oh, Stephen with an up kick. Edward Walls wants his man up. Look for Walls to go headhunting here with that high kick.
Nice level change, but just very slow from the fatigue. Aidan Stevens, he's got to be careful of eating more strikes here, but end of the round really exciting fight.
Yeah, Walls trying to find a way through there in the end, and that was a very entertaining 3-rounder, as we thought it might be. The phenomenal Aidan Stephen and the bad teddy bear Edward Walls. Walls has had a real tough entry to Cage Warriors with Steve Aimable and Aidan Stephen. And if you were listening to my commentary for most of that, Paul McBain as well. But look, these guys looked very evenly matched in there, and all credit to Cage Warriors matchmaker Ian Dean for putting that one together. We thought it'd be an entertaining one. It certainly was. Let's take a look at some of the action here, and it's a takedown early, peels the legs off the cage there from Aidan Stephen.
Yeah, I think the real story of this fight was the positional dominance from Aidan Stevens, the excellent defensive grappling from Edward Walls, and then the ground and pound from Edward Walls. I think it's all going to come down to the damage done from the ground and pound versus the very close submission attempts, a couple close submission attempts from Aidan Stevens.
Oh, just a couple of inches short on that big shot there was Edward Walls. And look, regardless of the result tonight, can't wait to see both of these guys down at 135 pounds. Aidan Stephen and Edward Walls. Our MC in the cage, Mr. Hal Chaplin, has the judge's decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of mixed martial arts action, we go to our judges' scorecards. All 3 judges score this bout 29-28 in favor of your winner by way of unanimous decision. In the blue corner, the phenomenal